Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 76th episode of Don't Forget the Popcorn. I know you guys are sick of all the Oscar talk, and thank God it'll be over tomorrow, right? Well, everyone's going to have to talk about the winners for a little bit, but hold on, award season is almost over, and we can focus on new movies coming out. Well, I finally saw The Zone of Interest, so I can finally talk about every Best Picture nominee and where I think they stack up. I'll tell you right now, we all know Oppenheimer is going to win Best Picture, and I'm fine with that. But I wanted to talk about my ranking of all these Best Picture nominees. This is my list, and I'm sure you guys will disagree, so make sure you drop in the comments, tell me your list, what you think of mine. Be sure to like and subscribe, and let's get into the Best Picture nominees ranked. Number 10, Maestro, directed by Bradley Cooper. Well, I truthfully do not feel this is a Best Picture worthy film. I just personally didn't connect with this film, and I think a lot of people felt the same way. It has been getting dragged online. Now, there is a lot to like in the film, though. Great makeup, great cinematography, and two good performances. Now, although I didn't love Cooper's performance as much as others, I can still say I recognize that it is a good one. Carey Mulligan, on the other hand, was brilliant, and I think she deserves her acting nomination. But I can't say I feel that for Bradley. I replace him with Zac Efron, Andrew Scott, Leonardo, or even Glenn Howerton. We can call it Oscar bait or whatever, but there's still some good things about it. Having said that, though, this movie did bore me to tears in the middle, but it does pick up in the end. But overall, I just didn't think it was entertaining enough to be here. And I took nothing away and didn't learn anything new about Leonard. I will replace this with The Iron Claw or All of Us Strangers. Number 9, Barbie, directed by Greta Gerwig. Now, I do like this film. I actually enjoy it quite a bit. But this is a stacked list, so something had to go at 9. This might be the most divisive movie on this list. So many strong feelings with this one and how the nominations turned out. Well, it's up for a lot, and it might win too if it's lucky. Best Original Song is pretty much a lock, but not sure about anything else. Barbie is a great time, and I do think Ryan Gosling gave one of the best performances of the year. This America Ferrera nom is some trash, just like the Jamie Lee nom win from last year. I'm not sure if this movie is a best picture type of movie, but I do appreciate the Academy diversifying the movies they include. Say what you want, but Greta took Barbie and I think made the best movie that could possibly be made about a doll. I mean, sure, you can maybe tweak the story a little bit to make it more inclusive, but we can't deny the world created here was incredible. Shout out to Margot Robbie as well. She put it down in this movie. I do like this movie, and I'm glad it came out and gave us so much fun with the Barbenheimer combo. Number 8, American Fiction, directed by Cord Jefferson. This might be the funniest movie on the list next to Barbie. I did really like this movie, and at number 8, it just had such stiff competition. It was an interesting take on the current state of black culture in the United States. It's a great adaptation for the screenplay, and Jeffrey Wright and Sterling K. Brown give some really nice performances here. This is Jeffrey Wright's funniest role, and I'm so glad to see him getting a nom for Best Actor. I think the political commentary in here was slick and not too in your face. I like the lighthearted approach it takes to it, all while tackling the issues head on at the same time. It's a nice blend of comedy and relatable family drama. I don't have too many criticisms of this movie. Maybe they could get a better ending, but I think it deserves this nomination. Number 7, The Zone of Interest, directed by Jonathan Glazer. Man, this might be the most haunting movie on the list. I did like this movie and I was quite unsettled. Glazer delivers this Holocaust story in a way we've never seen before, and I think that is the beauty of this film. All we are doing is watching a family and a normal family dynamic all played out in the backyard of a concentration camp. Yet you don't see anything happen in this camp. It's all from the point of view of the family and how the location of their amazing home is affecting them and their life. There's a few scenes in here that really made me understand why Glazer got the Best Director nom. This, I think, is some of the most unique direction I've ever seen. This could have just been another Holocaust film, but instead it was an artistic and very effective film that we haven't quite seen done this well since Life is Beautiful back in the late 90s. This movie should win Best Sound and Best International Feature. The sound is everything in this film. It should win, but we know that'll be Oppenheimer's win. Big props to Sandra Hüller for being in two Best Picture movies in 1 year. What a feat. Number 6. Killers of the Flower Moon, directed by Martin Scorsese. I went back and forth on whether this or what's next on the list was getting the spot, but I had to put this here. First of all, the fact that Marty is still making movies on this scale, this good at 80 plus, is impressive enough. But to make a film this entertaining and effective is even more impressive. He's really maybe the best American filmmaker of all time. We can argue that, but this movie educated me, upset me, and made me happy all at once. This tale of the Osage people and their rise and fall from wealth from the oil industry is just incredible. Clocking in at 3.5 hours, and I was gripped from start to finish. Unfortunately, this might be The Irishman all over again. Lily Gladstone has a shot to win Best Actress, but this won't win anything else. The cinematography, score, acting, and direction is just absolutely beautiful in this film. And out of all these movies, this might have been my favorite ending. Lily Gladstone was an absolute gem in this movie, going toe to toe with legends like Leo and Bobby De Niro. I think Leo was great in this, and I don't care what anyone says. Number 5. Oppenheimer, directed by Christopher Nolan. I couldn't decide between this or Killers for my fifth, but I ultimately landed on Oppenheimer. We can really say it is Nolan's year. Oppenheimer is likely going to win Best Picture, Director, Actor, Supporting Actor, Score, and Cinematography. And this movie does deserve it. Although it doesn't top my list, I still recognize the brilliance and importance of this film, and I'm okay with this being the movie Nolan is getting his flowers for because he deserves it. Having said all that, I was captivated by this film as I watched in IMAX with a packed house. 3-hour drama about a scientist couldn't be more entertaining. Nolan crafts one of the most ambitious and difficult stories to adapt for the screen, and he does it with ease. Cillian Murphy gives us his best performance to date, and it's finally time for him to be acknowledged after a long and successful career. Oppenheimer impressed me, and I think everyone else in more ways than one, and I'm glad we have Nolan to make us these kinds of movies. Films like these are saving our beloved medium, and even if you don't like the movie, you gotta respect it. Big shouts to Emma Thomas for being the silent hero and producer of all these great films. Barbenheimer will be looked back on as one of my most fond movie memories. Number 4. Anatomy of a Fall, directed by Justine Triet. If I was going to suggest one film on this list to recommend to anyone, I may pick this one. This movie pays great homage to Otto Preminger's Anatomy of a Murder, which is one of my favorite courtroom dramas. And I must say this film might even top that. What Justine gives us here is a taste of the greatest recipe and telling us nothing about how the dish was made. It doesn't matter what ingredients are in the dish. All that matters is the end result is delicious. That's what makes this movie great. We really don't know anything concrete about what is actually happening here. It plays like real life. If we were watching a trial, we'd have to hear testimonies and make our decision just like a jury here who is ready to tell a verdict. Sandra Hüller, let's just say, would be my dark horse to win Best Actress. She was a powerhouse in this film, a force to be reckoned with. And the young kid Milo Machado Grainer, who plays her son, wow. Incredible. I love seeing the way they handle law in France, and this movie just humanizes everyone and shows us there is always layers to every situation, especially in relationships. Everything isn't always what it seems, and we don't always know everyone as well as we think. This movie could come home empty-handed. Too bad France wasn't smart enough to pick this as their entry for foreign language feature. What a waste. Number 3. The Holdovers, directed by Alexander Payne. I think this and my next pick are the two warmest movies on the list. I've been an Alexander Payne fan since Election, and this is him really back to form making a film that can stand up with that one. Don't get me wrong, The Descendants and Sideways are great, but The Holdovers is the best movie he's made in 20 years. This instant Christmas classic takes us on a heartfelt journey with real people dealing with real issues in a real way. A relatable way. A movie that anyone can watch and enjoy, and is maybe the easiest to digest on this list. In a world where everything just seems so divided and ugly, it's films like this that remind us, no matter what, we all aren't so different. I truly love this movie and will be watching every December as long as I live. Paul Giamatti, Dominic Sessa, and Divine Joy Randolph give us some of the year's best performances, and I'm about 99% sure Randolph is taking Best Supporting Actress. Oscars, we need to add more directors to the director list because, man, how does Alexander Payne not get a nomination for this when this movie is nominated in 5 other categories and 2 acting ones? Giamatti is likely in second behind Murphy, and Randolph is in first. Direction brings that out, but whatever. Number 2, Past Lives, directed by Celine Song. Well, the forgotten gem of the year. This movie is one that slowly seeps into you, and by the end, you can't help but have the water flowing. Past Lives takes inspiration from many in the genre, but separates itself by having a pulse that none of those others may have. Celine Song, in her directorial debut, tells us a story about love and time that is for the ages. I was deeply touched by this film, and it does make you think about a lot of different scenarios, maybe in your own life or someone's life you may know. This film feels like the most honest and realistic film on the whole list, even more than the biopics or based on a true story ones. This film is just not getting the awards attention I think it deserves. Teo Yu and Greta Lee are just getting so overlooked for their brilliant performances, and Celine is for her great direction. We know it's not winning anything on Oscar Sunday, but I'm glad it at least got invited to the party. Because our friends May December and Saltburn just didn't even get invitations. May December got that little screenplay nom, but we know it's not going to win. This would be the other film I'd recommend the most on this list. For the number 1 spot, process of elimination, number 1, Poor Things, directed by Yorgos Lanthimos. My favorite film of the year from one of the hottest directors working right now. Yorgos has crafted a nice little career for himself since Dogtooth 15 years ago, and what a list of films he has. The Favorite and Killing of a Sacred Deer are 2 of the best films released in the last 10 years, and I can definitively say Poor Things goes right there with them. This is a fairy tale for the ages, and I can't say I've quite seen a movie try and tackle something like this in such a way. It's a comedy, sci-fi, drama, thriller with some horror elements. It's like a piece of every auteur we've had over the last 30 years, all thrown into one movie, and this is what we got. I laugh so hard at this movie. It's one of the funniest films of the year, but in the darkest way. Emma Stone is my pick for Best Actress, although I love Lily Gladstone. Would love to see Ruffalo win, and Willem Dafoe was also very great as usual in this. The cinematography, score, editing, screenplay are all contenders for the year, and some of the best. This movie, I do believe, is going to bring a couple statues home. For what, I can't say, but I think it's going to get a few wins. The thing that makes this whole thing work, though, is Yorgos. I can't begin to explain how fun it's been watching this man's movies and seeing the growth and evolution of this guy. We're dealing with a possible GOAT on our hands. 2 more of these under his belt, and it might be undeniable. Guys, thank you so much for watching my Best Picture nominees ranked. Let me know if there's a topic or film you want me to review. Drop your rankings down below. I would love to read them. I got a podcast with my buddy, The Cutting Room Floor. I'll link that below for more movie content. Follow me on Letterboxd, Ralph Vader. I'll link that below as well. Like and subscribe. I appreciate that so much. It's free. Help your boy out. I will be back next week. And don't forget the popcorn.